Mental health is something an extreme amount of people are dealing with on a daily basis. To be exact, statistics say 1 in 5 Canadians will experience some sort of mental illness in their life. One thing I don't find is discussed as much is what it's like to raise a child while being diagnosed with a mental illness. This brings me to our feature story today. A young woman named Raven McKay who was diagnosed with several types of mental illnesses at a young age in her teenage years, and soon gave birth to a beautiful daughter named Harper Rose. Right now, Raven is talking for the first time publicly about her mental illnesses. When were you diagnosed with mental illness? Was it before or after your daughter was born?
It was before Harper Rose was born. It was a few years back. I was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, which is basically anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder, kind of all in one.
Raven was on the road to Team Canada for cheerleading, and that was her plan from a very young age. But when plans didn't work out the way she expected them to, her life didn't seem to just continue.
I started gymnastics when I was 3 years old and continued till I was 10, and then I started cheerleading at 10, fell in love with it all because of you, and loved it ever since. Never stopped loving it, still watch it every day, still think about it every day. Love cheerleading.
Do you find that not being able to continue into cheer or anything like that might have triggered any sort of depression?
Yeah, I do miss it a lot. I still think about it a lot. It's really heartbreaking when I see all the videos and when I see Worlds and see all of my old cheer friends like on the university teams. It's pretty sad for me, but hopefully one day that'll change again. I really want to cheer.
What medications were they putting you on?
I was on Zoloft, quetiapine, Cipralex, and I think that was it.
How many times did you have to take those a day?
I took them once a day, but it was three pills in the one day.
That's a lot.
Yes. I found the Zoloft helped, not so much the Cipralex. The quetiapine did help me sleep, but I was super drowsy the next day, didn't want to wake up, so I found the quetiapine didn't really help that much, just kind of made everything worse. Made the depression worse. I was sleeping all day, didn't get up until 4 p.m., so didn't really help that much.
Did you have the option to stay on any sort of medication when you got pregnant, or was it just cold turkey?
I had the option to. My doctor told me that there was a risk that Harper could have withdrawal symptoms from the Zoloft and the Cipralex and the quetiapine, so I decided to stop taking the medications because I was like, you know what, it's not about me anymore, it's now about my daughter. I can do it without this medication. I need to be better for her. So I decided not to take them. I can go back on them whenever I want. I've talked to Dr. DeBoer about my options. She said, if you're feeling down, if you're feeling anxious again, let me know and we'll get you back on the medications ASAP. But right now I'm trying to just not use the medications.
Raven is only 20 years old, and she's probably not the only one struggling with raising a child at a young age and also dealing with mental illnesses. This brings us to Deirdre Maloney. She's 37 years old and has finally realized that there are other ways to cope with her mental illnesses. When you walk into her house, it already seems happy. She's got beautiful blue walls like the color of the ocean and a lot of windows, so you're always looking outside. But more importantly, she's got 2 beautiful children, Johnny and Shirley's.
So time to show her her stuff.
I wanted to talk to Deirdre on the things she does in order to understand her mental illness and live life normally.
I don't think it necessarily gets easier. I think I go through periods where it seems really easy and almost too easy that you don't want to share it with people because things feel so good that it's almost like nobody else would understand. Mm-hmm. And then you go through periods where you feel really depressed. And usually these periods last months. So like you go on a good stretch of feeling really good and then you go on a long stretch of not feeling so great. I self-medicated a lot before with drugs, cocaine, marijuana, alcohol, and other ones as well, but those were the main ones. Also, I take medication, so that really helps. That was like a big savior for me. And since getting on the prescription drugs, I don't need to use and abuse those substances anymore. I'd been seeing that therapist already for a year. When she told me at 25 that I was bipolar, she said she had told me the year previous, but that I didn't want to take medication. So I guess diagnosed at 24, like I started using drugs around the age of 14, so I'm pretty sure something was wrong. I go to therapy still once a week, so that really helps me keep things in perspective.
Do you find that you're raising your children differently than other parents?
I try to like talk to myself a lot about like very gentle and kind parenting and not getting frustrated with them easily. Try to take breaks, setting up like an hour where they have to spend time by themselves so that I can have time to myself. If you get on a medication and you don't like it, like try something else. Maybe keep trying them until you find something that works for you. Because for me, it changed my life. I can't imagine if I had to live my life the way that I was living it, like with that emotional and stress and strain. It's very easy when you're depressed or suffering from mental illness to isolate yourself, and that is like the last thing you want to do. You need your friends and family for support, so stay connected, keep talking to people.
Mental illness is on the rise, and that's why it's important to listen to these stories. Deirdre has been dealing with this for almost her entire life, but now she is here to help women like Raven to be able to do the same. Thank you for listening. I'm Kendall Keddy for Say News Documentaries.